Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Simulator Saturdays. There's no ride video this week because I've got a lot to show you. A lot happened on the sim this week, so without further ado, let's go. Welcome to Simulator Saturdays.
When I redid the shifter, I had to open this up to get the boot to go through, so I just finished restitching all inside there and all back out here and finished retaping the shifter all back up, so it's good to go.
Several bad puns later.
Alright, for the sake of this license plate cover, I don't know who's honestly watching my channel and how old they are, so we all know what this says, but now when I open it up, there's an actual glove box in there. Top, back, sides, bottom, very solid. So that'll eventually be all carpeted in there too. So, and I'm gonna put like a little switch here or over here, I'm not sure yet, that will turn on a light inside here. So when I open the door, it'll turn on, and when I close the door, it'll turn off. So I actually have some light in the glove box.
A few moments later.
Alright guys, working on the glove box light right now. I had this old, these solar panel light things that you used to, you put out in the garden and they light up at nighttime. This one was obviously broken, but it had the light bulb in it. Used to be right there, so I cut the light bulb out and I got it soldered off into there, so this will go on here and that'll be like the dome light, and it'll be, like up there inside the dash. And then I've got this switch right here, the old engine start stop switch. I'm going to put this nut on it because it, and I've got it wired up to normally open, I believe. So when the glove box is open, the light will come on, and when the glove box is closed, the light will turn off, at least in theory.
More moments later.
I got it wired out to USB, but as soon as I open this, see here, there's no light on, right? As soon as I open it, oh, see that light? I got that wired up right here. And then it's on this dome right here. Comes wired up to the switch and then goes out to the USB. That's all it is. So when you press the switch, light goes off. So that works great. Open it, light comes on. Close it, light goes off.
1 hour later.
Alright, I'm currently switching the car radio antenna amplifier so that it can go down in this hole that I've already got cut for the radio. I'm putting it in. I need my music back. But in the meantime, I figured I'd show you guys just the wiring that goes into building something like this. Like, it takes a lot of time. So, yeah.
The next day.
Alright guys, I got this box in the mail today. This is exciting. It's the big lot. My 6 plate and my 4 plate right there. There's my window switches I was talking about. And then blue, green, blue. Alright, so once I get something done with these things, I'll get that on film.
By sheer coincidence.
So I had a little mishap with the simulator, so all the monitors are off. I've got the double monitors back there. The whole thing's pulled away from the wall. Here's the behind of it. See, here's the glove box. And this is the passenger side or whatever. And then this is the driver's side with the woofer box and the G20 or the G920 wheel and everything. Can I get a light here? Hold on, there we go. With the G920 wheel mounted there and everything. So the problem I had was this ARC controller, and I'm sure you can see what happened with that resistor. That's really, really bad. So that controller completely stopped working, and I lost a lot of functions because of it. But I don't know if you guys remember from another video, I had bought a second ARC controller and soldered it up, but when I hooked it up, it interfered with the first one because they're the same one. It kept switching back and forth, and I had to reconfigure almost every time I started my game. But now that this one's burned, I'm just going to swap it out with the good one, and I should be back up to the races. Eventually, I am going to fix this because I've got all the buttons in now. As you can see, there's 2 buttons there that aren't hooked up. That whole bottom row in there is not hooked up. It's just those ones. And then, I mean, there's some more in there that aren't hooked up and stuff, but I'm getting a 63 button controller that controls 63 buttons all itself, and I think I have 57 buttons or switches or whatever on my dash right now, and I'm not even done, so I think the 63 should be about right. Alright, so I'm gonna do that and get it all back together and continue on with the switches on the front.
3 hours later.
Alright guys, moving right along. It's no longer there. I've ran the wires down and it's now here. So I can just sit it up here out of the way, as well as this Xbox controller I'm using. It can go like, you know, there, and then there with some like double-sided sticky tape or whatever, just to keep them in there. And here's the third one that I bought off of some. Oh no, this was the USB NES controller. So the USB NES controller, the Xbox controller, and the second cheap ARC controller I got from AliExpress. And then I've got the Logitech Wingman right here running some buttons and stuff. And then there's the back of the dash. And there's the G920 buttons that I don't even use. And there's the G920 behind it. And then on this side, we've got all the power stuff. That's why it only comes out to 1 power, because it's this power bar. And then I just plug that power bar in over there. And I got to figure out this mess and run it back across the floor over here up to the computer. And then I can finally push it back against the wall and get working on those front switches again.
6.5 hours later.
Alright, well, that went really poorly. What happened is, after the smoke show and everything, and I rewired the other one, it malfunctioned. So I ended up taking apart this SATEC controller that a friend of mine had given me, and I wired it out. And now I'm currently wiring everything back up. So, you know, I got like high beams and stuff working again and stuff. So I'm gonna get it all back together and continue on those switches and everything. Just one thing after another though, but you know, it'll get there
Eventually.
Alright guys, so I got it all back together, got the switches all wired back up and everything, and I even had 2 extra switches that I've wired out over here to the escape and the pause key. The only thing left is the window switches there. Like I said, I've got these ones going in instead of these ones here. And these ones light up on the arrows, but there's a whole bunch of different pinouts and stuff, and it's a double throw switch. So what I figured is I'm only going to use one side for the switch. The middle's the ground, and the bottom's like to put the window down, and the up's to put the window up. But I've got 2, like this is just one for one window, so I can remove the one on the right side and just not use those, and then put those springs in on that side, which will give me this pin and this pin up here for the light. Now I can't use these pins because if I put a spring in and try and use those pins, it's going to mess my switch. I need these 3 pins here for my window switches. So to light that side is a little difficult, because here's the boards. Now on the back of the boards, see those little pads? That's where the springs go. Now inside there, 2 of those springs will touch, but the other 2 won't. So I'm just going to solder some wires out from like, what do we got here? From like the one that says 3 on it down there, and that one up there that says 8. I'm just going to solder some wires out. I'm going to make like a little cut in the side to pass those wires through, and the other ones can be wired up down there, and then the switch can be wired up on this side, and everything should be good to go. So I'm going to do that and get it back in and see how it works. Oh, and just a footnote, these things that came inside, like I said, they were double throw. They came with 2 of these inside each and 2 of these to flip between them. So I just took one of those black things out so that they're single throw, and I'm only going to put one of these bars back in, and I'm just going to leave these other bars and springs out.
1 eternity later.
So I moved the pedal board a little closer to me at the bottom so I don't have to slouch in the chair. when I'm driving. But I got the hold on, let me turn the lights on. I got the window switches all in, wired up good, and I figured out how to get this green light to work with the rest of them now. So you know, we're good to go.
The next morning.
Alright guys, so I got the radio all in and working good, wired up, and I used some of the extra wood I had to make this keyboard stand. So now I've actually got a stand on the side of the sim that the keyboard sits on. Alright, that's going to be it for this week, guys. Join me next week. I will have a ride video and possibly some other stuff in the mail. But if you've been enjoying my content and you want to see more great videos from my channel, feel free to watch this one right here. And don't forget to subscribe. Catch you on the next one.